dream. And I'll tell you, because like everybody's had their gay sex dream. I've had a gay sex dream, and it was about Tom Selleck, and he was hairy. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh.
Has every man had a gay sex dream?
I don't know. Like, I wasn't excited about the dream. It was just happening. Like, it wasn't like something I was like, okay, what would it be like to have sex with Tom Selleck? He just happened to be the guy. Like, and I'm like, hey, if you're gonna have to go gay, I mean, Tom Selleck's a handsome man. At this point, he was like Magnum PI Tom Selleck. He wasn't like, Blue Bloods Tom Selleck.
Is that where your mustache like is coming from?
Your inspiration.
Your inspiration stash?
The hair part of the memory didn't have anything to do with his mustache.
How far did it go?
Oh, we're done with this.
Wait, no, it's fascinating.
I felt violated, but I felt like it was my job to do because he was Tom Selleck.
Ah, well.
Were you the top or bottom?
Bottom.
Yes.
You're the bottom.
It was the only time that I wasn't alpha in my life. I'll tell you that.
I think we just found another therapist.
Yeah. Therapist, tell us what this means. What does it mean?
This is awesome.
Straight man.
Well, that was a good semi-weird situation just there. I think Brian just muted himself. A couple episodes ago, we had the tragic, I don't even know, the time when the stripper went kind of crazy on me. And my awesome bartender buddy found me and said, I remember that day, and I don't remember like me doing anything out of the ordinary, but thank you so much. You guys are doing a great job. And then he sent me a couple of weird moments that we'll share next time too. So he's very sweet, and he is in a lovely marriage, and really just a cool guy. So it was cool to see Atlanta bar scene checking us out for our sixth person that listens. Yeah. So last time we talked about lies that were told to us. I'm not super proud of it, but I have told a couple of lies in my day. One quick one, I had a bar regular, and he and his like nephew worked at they were the CEO and CFO of a hotel group, I would say. There were a couple of different hotel groups in it. I was fresh out of college with a merchandising degree and was realistically looking for a career path in merchandising, fashion, planning, whatever. And they needed someone to take over their marketing, as they were going to be selling like the things that you would find in your hotel room. So if you liked the mattress, if you liked the linens, you could go to the e-commerce was really like taking off. So you could go and buy all that stuff if you wanted.
The W does that, and I love it.
The W does do that.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
So I looked into it.
So I get invited to a business meeting with this older gentleman, and he has had quite a bit of plastic surgery to where I could not tell you how old he was.
That creeps me out, man, when guys do that. Like, it's creepy to me.
It was bad. And I remember going to the Georgian Club it's like a country club and a hotel kind of thing in Atlanta. A really great service. I go to this dinner, really there with the intent of, he told me I would have a position. I would be running this branch of the company. We just needed to iron out a couple of details. And I go to the meeting. He's like getting quite a few martinis. I get a text message from my college roommate that she was informed by one of the servers there that I was at a business meeting with a man that is married, and she did not know what I was doing. I'm like, I'm at a business meeting, for one, in Atlanta. We went to FSU, and you live in West Palm right now. How are you getting text messages about me? Like, this is just all bizarre. And the dinner evolved into a situation where he made it very clear that he was married. They lived separate lives. He would never get a divorce. And was I okay with that? I said, I'm fine with that. This has nothing to do with, the position that we're talking about. And I quickly read that he was like, my employment status was directly connected to whether or not I was going to be his mistress.
I see.
So
Classic.
we ended the meeting. I left unscathed and I saw him a couple of weeks ago. After that, he was text messaging me like really forward, creepy things. And then he ran into the bar, which he was always a good patron. I always, had $100 tip, like didn't want to lose that. And so, yeah, it was definitely me too before it was cool. And so he flat out said, why are you acting weird? Why aren't you responding to my, offers? And with a straight face, I looked at him, and the bar was very busy. I said, I apologize, but your advances have made me really uncomfortable. I'm a virgin, and I'm waiting for the one. And so I just didn't know how to tell you, thinking I would still get the job, because like now you kind of feel like a dick, know?
Yeah.
But I didn't get the job.
Oh, what a dick. He was a dick.
He was a dick, but the business is going very well.
Well, that's good. At least he found somebody.
Yeah, he found someone. Good for him.
Interesting lie, though.
Yeah, I kept it with a straight face too. And I remember like straight face, turn around, hold it together so you can't see like my shoulders like hunch over in a laugh. And like I turn the corner, and all the other like bartenders are like, how did it go? I'm like, I told him I was a virgin, and they just died laughing. I'm like, yeah, so we'll see how this goes. But
the sad thing is, I'm like, what would I say in that situation? Like, I would definitely try to find a lie because it's so uncomfortable when there's a job on the line, especially if you still want to work for that person or that company. And honestly, I picture myself trying to tell that lie, and I'm thinking there's no way I wouldn't even think of that as a lie. So I'm like, this guy is not going to believe that. Like, I just would not. I can't imagine that man thinking that about me, like, oh, she's a virgin. That makes sense. Like, I don't think I could pull that off at that point.
I didn't think I could either, but I didn't feel like I had any other choice.
Not to say I'm a slut bag or anything when I was a bartender. Definitely not. I was in a committed relationship at that time. But I'm putting myself back in that mode where it's like, would this guy believe this lie? Like, even if I like rock it out on my improv skills, like, will he believe this? And I don't think I could convince him. I think I'd think of 10,000 other lies before I was like, I'm a virgin. I don't think I'd do it.
I agree. Like, I don't know if he bought it, but I sold it out. And
it's super creative for like securing the job.
Didn't work. So
points for creativity.
So have you ever told God,
I wish I had one that good. I have like a little lie I've told because it's more recent. I wish I could think of one that's more elaborate to match your story. But the little one I told, so it was when I first moved to Holland, and I hung out with this guy once or twice. He was Dutch, and he wanted to go on this date. And this would have been like the date that maybe like you go home together kind of thing. And he was a little bit younger than me. And I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to go on this date. And I had been out all day with one of my colleagues who's American from the States. He's married with children, really great guy. And we had been drinking all day. And we finally got back to Amsterdam. We were out adventuring. And I told him, like, I kind of have this date with this guy. I don't know if I want to go. Like, I don't know. I'm having fun with you. Like, I kind of want to hang out with you for the rest of the night just because you're out with like an old friend, right? You're like bullshitting and it just losing track of time. He's like, no, you should go. So I'm like, well, he's in the neighborhood. Will you go with me and just hang out for a few minutes and see how it feels? He's like, yeah, I don't care. He's like, but won't it be?
Is this the blonde boat guy?
No, that's not him.
Okay.
That's a different guy.
He was gay. He had to, like, no judgment, but the photos were awesome.
There's some mannerisms. I could see where you would think that. Maybe he goes both ways, but he definitely expressed his straightness that night.
Okay. All right. So
his
different
ability
guy.
to be straight. Yes. Yeah. Different guy. So this guy, the first guy, he's waiting for me at the bar, and I told him, like, hey, I'm going to be a little late. I'm just coming back into Amsterdam. And I'll meet you soon. So my friend and I continue to a bar in the neighborhood. The guy didn't have a problem with it, waiting up a little bit. And we have 1 or 2 drinks. And he's like, is it going to be weird that you show up with me? Like, my friend's a tall, handsome, blonde guy. Like, he again, happily married, beautiful family, but there's nothing like that between us. But I can see, like, if I was out with this guy, how that would look weird going to, I wasn't putting all the pieces together right away. And my friend was. So I'm like, oh, we'll just tell him you're my brother. And he's like, okay. So I'm like, hey, my brother flew in and he's with me. Like, I kind of changed the story a little bit. Like, is this going to be cool? Go to meet the guy. We all have 2 or 3 drinks together. My friend, who is, quote, my brother, ditches out. And
Makes
the night
out
was,
with you.
Huh?
I'm just kidding. I said makes out with you.
Yeah, not weird at all. Very, very Game of Thronesy. But he leaves. He's like, hey, he's a nice guy, blah, blah, blah. Well, I see this guy. We hung out, but they didn't go anywhere. And I see him weeks later, just like in passing. And he's like, how's your brother doing? And I'm like, who? He's like, your brother. Insert brother's name. I'm not going to say it here. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's great. Like, I just like, quickly had to like bring that lie back to the surface. And I'm like, if I continue to run in this guy, I'm going to have to like hold true to this lie of having this brother. I'm like, eventually I might have to tell him. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I don't know if that's a deal.
I had one when I was young. And I was working at a theme park. And I was born in South Florida, and so I could understand Spanish quite well, but speaking, I just was not the best at. So I could probably understand 80% Spanish. Well, I go to work at this theme park in Orlando, and it's a big melting pot. I would say it was probably like 70% Hispanic, 30% white. And so the guys would hit on a lot of the American girls, but they would constantly talk about them in Spanish. And so very quickly, I tan really, really well. I mean, it was really bad. So like, and I have a little bit of a butt. So
you have a little bit of a butt.
I have a little bit of a butt. So I quickly could tell that they were talking about the girls. And I quickly said, they're like, well, you're Hispanic, right? And I ran with it. And I was like, yes, my dad's Cuban. I don't really speak fluent, but I understand, I understand quite a bit. Or I understand it. I don't really speak a whole lot.
But your dad's not really a Cuban Jew, right?
No, he's not.
Yeah, that'd be a really interesting combination.
I am an amazing cook when it comes to Cuban food, but I am not of that heritage. And so quickly thereafter, they stopped talking about us and the girls and wouldn't try to talk trash in front. It was just very demeaning that they would the things they were saying.
Of course,
I was getting a good portion of it. I was just like, you're making us look like dumb. So here you go. And they did stop. Well, I carried that lie for 3 years.
Wow. That's a long time.
And finally, one of the guys was trying to talk to me one day. And I was like, oh, I gotta go. But I mean, I was able to navigate it for years to where they would stop talking, and I called them out in certain instances. But to anybody who's from my past on those summers, I am not Cuban. So sorry.